If you're feeling like constantly procrastinating, that could be a sign that your mental health, psychological health, and or your physical health are somewhat at stake. See, a lot of people may end up looking on videos regarding spirituality and such, why they wake up a lot during the morning and at certain specific hours. Yes, there are a lot of videos that might give you insight on why you're actually waking up on such times or why you can't sleep too much or whatever other points. But perhaps one should leave spirituality a bit and look more on physical matters. See, when it comes to things happening, well, one reason why people may feel, a bit like not doing anything, yes, like procrastinating. Well, one reason may be that they can feel overwhelmed emotionally, mentally. And when that happens, you will not feel like doing anything because the priority should be actually handling those emotions. See, when emotions settle in, you probably are already knowledgeable of this that, well, they will take their time until they simply go away. When depression comes around, well, it's not gonna go just quickly. It may stay there even for months. And, sadness and other such emotions, especially the denser they are. Those emotions don't necessarily come because of you. They are also a reflection of your own environment, where you live in. A lot of people prefer comfort, even if they live in a depressing environment. And, well, that depression will just seep within your system. Sooner or later, you'll have to relinquish it, and, well, sooner or later, it will overpower you. Another reason why people may feel like procrastinating is because the mind is overloaded. See, a lot of people spend too much time in their phones. The phones show you a lot of images, while petty little videos on YouTube and the such may tell you that, you're watching a lot of videos and you're getting a lot of energy, right, within your body. Don't forget that energy in the end is not just energy, it is information. Everything that you're taking from your screen while watching TikToks, that is a whole lot of information, too much information for your brain to handle in one single day. And you're doing that day in, day out. The problem is, you might think that unconsciously, you're not, that consciously, you're not remembering anything out of what you have seen, or maybe just a few things, but unconsciously, your mind simply remembered literally every little bit of information, of image that you've seen. Sooner or later, it will have to cure itself of that. It will have to clear itself because, well, let's say your brain also functions on a cache memory, just like machines. And, that one, let's say it has to be, relinquished sooner or later. Because the more it gathers, the more hyper energetic you'll feel in a way, but that's only an illusion. You'll feel like you can't sit still. You have so much information within your system that you literally need to stand still to simply shift through it, or let's say sift through it, and, well, simply just sit and let all those thoughts move through your mind freely. Because the biggest problem is people forget the mind will always create based on what you put into it. Watching a lot of those TikToks and the such will add a lot of information. So it means it gives your mind the potential to constantly create based off of that. The very simple point is people not only create, yes, they do create, but the problem is they invest emotionally into that. Some thought pops into their minds. Maybe it's just their imagination. Maybe they just got pissed because of a thought that came out of nowhere. Maybe it was someone else's idea. In the end, it doesn't kind of matter. The point is, people just shock themselves or get afraid or they giggle about thoughts or whatever. Every time you react emotionally to those thoughts, you simply strengthen them and you make their repetitive cycle, let's put it so, faster and faster. That is a big problem in the end because the more you repeat your own thoughts, the faster their repeat cycle will be. And that is why a lot of people end up feeling overwhelmed by what someone told them a few days ago. They're thinking again and again and again about those thoughts. Those repetitive thoughts come back and they will come sooner and sooner. And that's why some people feel like they simply can't sit still. There are some of these people who overthink so much. If you're sensitive enough, you can actually feel them like they're a storm of radiation. It happened to me several times. I was close to some people, and well, they felt so dense, they felt so oscillating that I could feel their presence like from 3 meters away with my eyes closed. They literally felt like distorting the atmosphere around. Now, these things are very subtle, and obviously, if people can be sensitive enough, well, that is a good thing. Typically, you don't want to take these much into account because if you hear or listen to such things too long, your mind might actually replicate such things. I don't focus on the such. When it happens, well, most likely it happens, I typically keep myself away from such people because even a little touch accidentally, even by them staying close to you, energy transfer exists. And you don't want some of their information within your system because they're already clogged with all sorts of ideas, illusions, and such. So when these things happen, you feel like you're not capable of sleeping much. You're always hyperactive mentally. Perhaps it should be the time to simply leave, the internet for a while and only consume a bit of it, or just play your favorite games and such. Don't bother with social media. It will consume a lot of time. It will distract you for long, and it will twist your mind and lower your concentration in the long run. The point is, some detox is always good. Just spend as little time as possible doing, social media. Just read or go in nature. Do things that, some sports and the such. If you constantly wake up at certain hours and you can't sleep for long, perhaps your mind is overloaded. Your mind being overloaded means you will not sleep well. Not sleeping well means your body will bump into a lot of problems because, well, sleep means that a lot of parasites and the such in your body are dealt with. Cells, mutating cells within your body are also dealt with, and all sorts of other, self cleansing and, processes of the body are much more, are much better done while you are asleep. If you can't sleep well, some of these cycles may be incomplete or may not run at all. These may lead in time to diseases. So, also, if such things happen, there is a table of contents which says if you wake up at certain hours constantly, there might be some physical issue within you, not just a spiritual aspect. So, going to a doctor and doing some minor checkups can also be a good thing because something that happens repetitively might be a sign that your physical body is in pain, is in hurt, or something. Because a lot of the times, in most of the times, you can realize this physical body is so damn resilient, but at the same time, so freaking fragile because it can host a disease within you. It can resist it for so long, and typically, or almost in all cases, you will realize it only then at the end where it triggers, right? When it starts hurting, when you start having the nausea, the heavyweight symptoms, which are typically, triggering when things are very, very advanced in terms of the so-called disease. So take care, enjoy life, and this being said, Ferinjan Board signing out.